Hello, hello, my friend Amber. It is another Thursday evening. We are doing our live streams in the evenings now. How are you feeling today, my friend?
It's always good when I get to see my cute Lacey. Hey,
I
it's an
love
excuse.
you.
Thursday evenings has turned into my favorite day now.
Okay. I love it. I do miss doing these in person, so we will have to do these in person again just to get
Yeah.
back into the groove of things. But thank you for always making time for us in the evening and for this great audience that we always get to connect with. If you're tuning in live, I want to just say hello, welcome. My name is Laci. I'm here with Amber Coleman. We're here to just kind of bring some news to you about what the hell's going on in the real estate market, which is the world that we live in every day. We scoop it up like ice cream every single day.
We
Um,
do.
I have been doing these live streams. I want for a long time. Like we've been doing videos together and live streams for how long? What do you think, Amber? I
Has
think it.
it been like 7 years?
I think it's 7 years now. God, that's crazy to me. And you had never really done this stuff when we first met. That makes me so
And you
proud.
don't look a day older, Lacey. In fact, I think you
No,
get
it's
better
good.
with age,
Listen,
okay?
I think so too. It's good lighting tonight, so but I'll take it. If you're watching us live, please do it. Actually, if you're watching us at all, do me a huge favor and drop it like it's hot in the comment box below, and let
Mhm.
us know if you have questions for us. Even if it's after the fact, we do try to go back and answer your questions, and we do want to be available to you. Let us know where you're watching from. Say hi to us. We love saying hi, and use those comments for you. This is for you. We go live for you, not for us. We don't need the ego stroke. It's actually a little nerve-wracking to go live, but we do love to make sure that we're here for you. Amber, if you're cool, I want to kick off with a conversation that we started to have a little while ago that I kind of was like, hold on, we need to do it on the live.
Yeah.
I got super bummed out today. Can I just give you the scoop on why I was bummed out?
Yeah. Tell me, why were you bummed
So
out?
I was doing some Google searches and I don't know if you know this, but I don't watch anybody else's content on YouTube. It's very rare for me to do that. Not because I'm a butthead, but just because I'm just like
Yeah.
doing my own thing, like with earmuffs on and blinders. I every now and then I'll peek out and I'm really proud that there's so many content creators. But I got super bummed today because I did a Google search on something and up came a list of videos for I think local YouTubers who every single video said the market's crashing, you're going to be homeless in Las Vegas. Why it was just
Oh,
nothing but clickbaity, negative Nancy crap. And it just really bummed me out. And then it made me say to myself, are we delusional? Are we on drugs? Like, what are we doing that makes us think that we can come with a positive spin on everything? And it's
uh-huh,
not really spin; it's a positive take, a positive perspective. So
uh-huh.
I had to remind myself, Amber, of our core value, which is bringing the hope of home ownership to everybody in the world that we can possibly do that with. I think it was just felt important for me to bring this up because nothing against the other YouTubers. We know how this works, right? I don't monetize this channel the way that they probably do. I'm not even in it for clicks or watches. I'm in it to help give value and hopefully meet people who want to move here and then sell them a house, maybe. But
Mhm.
we're not really, we don't do the Pollyanna. We think everything's wonderful. We just know this market very well. We work and live and eat and sleep and poop this market all day, every day.
Mhm.
And we've never been in a place to where we said the sky is falling. And I think that's been, I think, a through line in everything we've done that has made so many people trust us. And so I don't know, I
Mhm.
just got really bummed out. And I wanted to just say, we're going to always be honest. We're always honest, always. And we're going to give you our take, but it's always going to have an underbelly of, goodness and hope. And we want to always
Mhm.
just bring that to you. So that's our promise. So if you're still here with me, if I haven't bored you already, I just want to make sure you know that, we're never going to be the clickbaity, the negative Nancy's, but we're always going to bring, if there's negative news, we're going to bring it to you and help you find a new perspective of it. What do you think, Amber?
I think that's beautiful. Thank you, Lacey.
Thank you. I
But
just felt compelled.
no, I feel and you're right because there's so much fear out there right now, but someone's got to talk sense, right? So like, here's my thing on, and I know we've talked about this before, like with home ownership. Home ownership to me is like my belief in it is almost religious. Okay, so like, there's not much that people could do to talk me out of it, but if you look at like us as human beings, we have three needs: food, water, shelter,
Yep.
right? When you're buying a house, your options are rent, buy, live with mom.
Or be
So,
homeless, which is not an option really for a lot of
okay,
people.
I'm sorry, I left out being homeless because we don't want
Yeah,
anybody being homeless, right? But
right.
like renting, buying, right? Like you're weighing options here. So like that. so there's definitely more like a bigger picture that you're looking at, and hopefully we can cover some of that today, right?
Yeah,
The bigger
absolutely.
picture.
So thank you for that. So we're going to jump in. Hi to everybody that's talking to us in the comments. I'm going to get to you guys in a little bit. Super excited to jump into this. We've got a lot to talk about because I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot going on out in the world. And we're trying to make some sense of it for all of us. So we're going to talk a little bit about the market. There has been a shift in the market, and we're going to be very honest with you about that. And I actually see it to be a positive shift for buyers for sure. We've been talking for a long time, Amber. I think since the pandemic, to be honest with you, that the inventory levels in Las Vegas are what has kept our prices continuing to go up. And inventory levels have been sometimes dire, like, oh my God, we have less than a month's worth of inventory. And forever, I've said a healthy, balanced market is between 4 to 6 months worth of inventory. That makes it a really good, you have a lot of options, a lot of negotiability. It makes it an easy peasy kind of conversation when it comes to what you want to buy. And it does definitely lengthen the time on market for the houses. And it does lengthen the time for shopping because a lot of people then want to look at more. That's kind of what I'm starting to see now. Talk to me about what you're seeing with the rates and with the Fed meeting, what you watched on that.
Okay, so I put a graph together. Can we go to the graph?
I forgot about that. Yes.
On the rates. Because
Yes.
what the rates are based off of more is the bond market. So it follows the 10-year bond market. So if you're wanting to kind of see what rates are doing, an easy way to just see the movement of them is to look at the bond market. Because rates a lot, like your rate has to do with you personally, what your credit score is, what your debt ratio is. Like it has to do with a lot of different things when it in different loan programs, right? But to see if they're moving up or down has to do with the bond market. So I put a pretty little graph here on the bond market so that you can see the highs and lows. So this is going back to February 10th. Every green or red bar that you're seeing is 1 day in the market. So
wow. Look at that April day. Wow.
I know. So then you can see the upward and downward movements that are going on. But if you just look at today, so if we scroll to the far right screen, there's like a green bar at the end of it. The market started in a decent place today and ended in a high place today. So like today I saw a few different rate adjustments that were happening. So a lot of times when we're doing the lives and we'll say, oh, something happened and the rates are down, by the next day, you can see based off a graph that it's back up again. So it's hard. Huh?
Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
It's hard to be able to because it's moving so fast. It's kind of like the news cycle. And a lot of it's based off the news cycle too. Like it's just moving fast. And a lot of the things that are on the news cause the rates to either go down or up because there's putting in the bond market, there's pulling out of the bond market. If the stock market's doing well, usually the bond market's not. The bond market's doing well, the stock market's not. And now you've put in some other things that have to do with tariffs and where other countries put their money. So like there's so many moving parts that literally you kind of have to like it's hard to time the rates.
Yeah,
Very hard to time the rates.
I always find it funny when people say, I'm waiting for the rates to drop. And I'm like, well, they dropped today. Like they dropped yesterday. They drop and raise every single day. So I think the way I kind of explain it is a lot of us have, because of social media and the news cycle and just the way the world works now, a lot of us are getting used to operating in a very like a 1 foot above the world level. And I'm trying to tell everybody, go to 30,000 feet. Let's take a different view of the world and what matters and what's really happening. And if you can pull a little bit higher up or a little bit further away from the everyday, like, the anxiety of the everyday stuff, you can make better decisions and you can really think through the long-term investment. If we're talking just about home purchases, the long-term investment opportunity and what the real loss or gain would be over the longer period of time of years versus moments in a day. So,
You're right.
So that's interesting. Thank you for sharing that graph. That I didn't realize that was on the daily. Yeah, this is why
it's a daily move. Well, one other thing I want to point out too is that when people call, because they'll see a news article that comes out and says, "Oh, rates dropped," right? Yeah. And then they're expecting me to say they're in the threes now. Guys, it's not going to go down to the threes again. Like that's the thing is I think the expectations are a little off right now. Like the threes are in our past. Yeah. If it hits fives, the market's going to go crazy.
Yeah,
Like that's
especially here.
literally where it's at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, you know, the movie Mean Girls, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. Like, stop trying to make 3% rates happen. They're not going to happen. You know, it's like, and we want them to happen. But honestly, in Vegas, it's really scary. If the idea of even seeing us with a 5 in front of our rate is like, I'm not taking any vacations this year because we're going to be running around the city trying to gather as many houses as we can for our buyers. Yeah.
Not only that, like then the concessions go away. So you need to have a lot more money saved if rates go down to that, because you don't get stuff from the seller, and sometimes you have to pay over appraised value. So there's a balancing act that we have here.
Yeah, a lot of people, and the prices too. Like a lot of people, I'm waiting for the crash. I'm waiting for prices to go down. There's nothing indicating that we're going to see a huge swing of pricing going down for Las Vegas. I don't know about the rest of the world. I don't pay attention to the rest of the world, but there's nothing that I've seen anywhere that's indicating that could be slipped down a little. Sure, we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you're waiting for a $10,000 drop on the house that you want, by the time it gets to the $10,000 less than what you're wanting, it's going to be gone because someone else is going to have jumped in, done it with the rate that they know that they can refinance, which will make a bigger difference to their payment than a $10,000 swing in the price, you know?
Yeah. Expectations.
Expectations. All right. Let me show you the numbers for this month. Let me get this bad boy down. So this month, so as you guys know, we always showcase to you the market snapshot. These numbers are always, they're always like reliable enough, but I do my own math, which I don't know if I should do that or not, but I do my own math sometimes. They're close enough for me to feel confident in sharing this report each month. So this month we're seeing a slight decrease in the median home price for single family units. Last month I think it was $485. I'll pull that up in a minute. For the units, the sold price, and the listing price is still running strong. It is showing that we are up to almost 3 months worth of availability, of inventory, which is awesome. I love seeing more houses to choose from, because I'll be honest, for a minute there, it was like, well, you get what you get and you don't, throw a fit. That's kind of what my money said. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. The pricing for condos and townhomes from last month to this month is a little bit down as well. And so I want to talk through this a little bit, because a lot of people see this and go, I knew it. The prices are dropping. I knew it. There's a crash coming. Here's the reality. Okay. The inventory rates are on their way up. They're going up, which is amazing. We came up with a few things. We've talked through it. We have like a bulleted list of maybe 5 to 6 things that I'd love to run through as to why that might be happening. That is what is affecting the prices. More inventory means more to choose from, means better deals to have. It's a juicy, crunchy time to buy, guys. It is. And so let's talk through that if you're cool, Amber. Are you cool with talking through it?
Let's talk through it. That's what I'm here for. Let's do it. I love figuring out markets and seeing what we need to do. Yeah.
So I was a bit confused initially, because spring's usually everybody's time to list their home. So I wasn't confused as to us seeing a little bit more on the market. I have been confused as to the number of homes that have hit the market, because I'm going, okay, if people are waiting for rates and now they're listing their house, like nothing was aligning. But what we've really come to the conclusion of is the market's becoming a lot more balanced, right? Stabilizing the prices that were kind of on the uptick for the last several years. Remember, we were seeing, even with low inventory and at high rates, we were seeing a 10% increase, 9.8% increase year over year as of January for our home prices, median home prices. So we were still seeing an increase. So I love that we're equalizing a little bit. I think it's balancing us out. You said something about the people who had been waiting to list. What was that you mentioned to me earlier today?
Well, okay, so for the last couple of years, so 2022 is when the rate started to jump, right? And then and all that was, remember how the feds were saying it's transitory, and all of a sudden we became in a fire zone, right? Like overnight, right? So like that's when they started to jump, is in 2022. So then everybody was looking at their 2% rate that they got or refinanced during COVID. And they were like, we can't move anywhere. We're going to wait this out. So now we're in 2025 and they've been waiting it out for 3 years.
Right. So like they want to move. They want a new house.
Yeah. So right now their life has changed in one way, shape, or form. They need to move up, move down, divorce. There's all kinds of different things that can happen. Move jobs, move this. And they've been holding tight, waiting for it to change, to go back to what it was in that very unique time of COVID, which we hope to never go through again. Right. Yeah. So now they just are out of time. So now they're now they're listing their house because they're like, okay, I guess the market's not changing,
Right.
and so it looks like more people are coming off all at the same time,
Right.
which is typically what happens when you're
Yeah.
buying or selling.
Yeah, I'm going to put the market thing back up. The other thing that I'm noticing year over year, that's a really great, I'm glad you mentioned that and talked through that because I hadn't thought of that. But the other thing that I'm really seeing is that this year versus last year, we're obviously up with inventory. So that's going to slow things down as far as, or lower things as far as pricing. But sellers are listing their homes at higher rates than last year. There's more sellers listing, which like we just said, but buyers aren't absorbing them at the same pace due to the rates being a little bit higher, fear in the economy, all the stuff that's been going on in this world. Like there is so much fear right now that I feel, and I love that I can be a little bit of a therapist sometimes when people call me. I love that I can do that for people and kind of ease their fears. But there is so much fear because again, we're all operating on this minute by minute lifestyle that, I mean, you have to put blinders and earmuffs on every now and then and just give yourself a minute because, and we're going to actually be doing this on our next live. We're going to be showcasing to you guys some stuff that like the news and everybody reported last year versus what really happened, because we're really trying to educate you how we try to live our lives and really look at the market, which is you can't look at it on a daily basis. You have to, you can assess it, but you have to let the stuff that's a little higher up, a little further out sink in and be realistic. So, and stay positive. So again, we have more homes on the market and that's great. I love that. But because of the rates being a little bit higher, there's less buyers. So they're not being absorbed as quickly. And then I'm also seeing quite a few investors like are hanging on to their homes for rentals and converting other homes into rentals. So it's just a big messy mess right now. It's very interesting. Let's talk about rentals. Let's talk about rentals though for a minute, because what this would indicate to somebody else who's maybe not you and me who are in this market, this stuff would tell me, I've heard it 1,000 times, would make somebody say to me, well, then if it looks like the prices are going down, I'm going to wait. Or, well, I'm going to wait until rates drop. And then I'm really going to take advantage because, then I'll have both the lower prices and the lower rates. That is absolutely not the advice that I would give you to do. And this has nothing to do with me selling you a home for a number of reasons. There's a number of reasons why that doesn't work. Rent is at an all-time high right now. And like Amber said before, you can do 3 things or 4: rent, buy, you can move in with mom and dad, or you can be homeless. And that's literally it. Or you can like stay on the strip and be an awesome gambler and kind of go that route with your life and maybe live in a hotel, but like, that's it. So because this is a basic need for humans, you need a place to live. And there's not as much inventory on the market. Rent is at an all-time high. And we're really trying to help people understand that that's not the route to go, especially in a market like this, when you have so many options.
Okay. Can I get in my soapbox for a second about renting?
My dog just opened my door, so I'm going to go close it so you don't hear him. Sorry.
Okay. So here's my thought process about what's happening with renting. Okay. So if people are fearful in the market, because obviously that's what the news is trying to turn right now, is fear to the market, right? So then you're going to go to renting. The renting is an all-time high. So then rent's going to rise and rise and rise, because when everybody just flees to one side, then those prices go up, just like it did with buying a house. When the houses started to go up in certain times of year, when they go up, because everybody's coming off at the same time. So here's my thought process. It's more of a long-term thought process. Is if you're only looking for today, renting is going to continue going higher year after year. And it's so high that it's draining you of all your savings to save for a down payment and stuff like that. So it's hindering what you can do in the future. Buying a house is you're paying towards something every month. So without even trying, 10 years down the road, not even counting the equity you get in your house, because that's just the cherry on top of a beautiful ice cream sundae, is putting it as Laci would, right? Hot fudge ice cream sundae with the best ice cream in it, right? That's just the cherry on top. But even if you don't have any equity, which never happens, but let's just say that that's the case, you don't have any equity in your house that you gain within a 10-year period, month after month, you've paid that house down. Month after month, there's money that goes towards principal every month. So if you don't touch that loan just by living and making that payment, you're going to have a lower principal balance on your loan. So then you have choices. If you want to retire early, you can then, pay the house off, reverse mortgage. You have things that you can do with that house, right? Or you can sell it, take the equity, the money that you put into it, and use it towards something else, not including the equity that you're going to raise. But if you look at any graph over a 10-year period in housing, you're always going to gain equity. So that's
Yeah.
a really, really good cherry on top,
It's a
right?
long
So like
play. Yeah, long
looking
play.
at renting is just short-sighted, and it allows people to control us,
Who's
right?
keeping you
Because they
down?
can,
Rent's
huh?
like the man keeping you down, right? Like
It's
that's
the man keeping you down. Yeah.
I don't even know where that came from, but like it kind of is. And I'll be honest with you guys, like we are my team and I help renters, right? We are one of
Mhm.
very few in the city that are willing to work with renters. And I'll be very honest, the reason most realtors don't work with renters is because there's no money in it. You make a fraction, you make like $100 or $200 for the same amount of work that it takes almost to get you into a house to sell. So they just don't bother with it. We do it as a give back. We do it because we want to make sure that you're landing softly. We work with a lot of relocation clientele. And I hate the idea of you guys out in that world doing it alone, because it is a dog eat dog world.
Yeah.
The rental experience, I'm just going to be very honest though, sucks. It's horrible. And
Not
here's why.
only that, oh
Go ahead.
yeah. I've looked at leases and they're horrific. Like it's like they're just taking advantage of people looking at their leases. They can't get out of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm off my
So no,
soapbox
you're
now.
good. In order to rent a home in Las Vegas, are not even really able to show you the home or take you to see them to rent until it's 30, maybe 45 days before you're ready to sign and move in and grab those keys. Especially for relocation, who's trying to find their home less than 30 days or 30 days away from when they're ready to relocate from another place? Like you have to
Mhm.
plan movers and cars and all the stuff. How are you going to wait until 30 to 45 days before you move to solidify where you're going to land? That's horrible. We've made
Mhm.
it work. We always make it work, but it's not fun. The other thing is, I'm going to be very real. The rental inventory on the market is shit. It's not great. Here's
Yeah.
why. If you don't have to keep your house sparkly and fresh because you're competing with other rentals in the neighborhood, you don't. So if there's 1,000 people standing in line for every single renter, which there's many, many people, multiple apps for every house and I've talked to property managers all over the city. It's crazy. Rent's higher, inventory is lower, and they're not doing anything special to these houses. So again, no biggie. You're just renting it, but guys, like it's slim pickings unless you want to pay $3,000-4,000 a month, which makes me want to vomit. Like right now, I want to vomit like so bad.
Mhm.
So we really just want to make sure that you guys are thinking about this the right way. This is not a pressure tactic to make you want to buy. This is genuinely for us to tell you how we see things and how we see the hope coming to life coming alive for you, whatever that is.
Mhm.
So really, what does this mean for buyers? All the extra inventory, the price is kind of slipping down a little bit. It means it's a juicy, crunchy time to buy. Now is a time where you can really jump in and let us negotiate a fat deal for you. Now, a fat deal doesn't mean $70,000 off the top. Sometimes it does, depending on what we're doing, but most of the time it doesn't. But it does mean that we're going to be able to get you the most in these moments. And then for me, it's always a better idea to get in while you can get in when there's less people to compete with. I'm
Mhm.
competitive, but I don't like competition, if that makes sense. Like
Not when you got to pay 50,000 more to compete with somebody.
exactly. Like, because that's what happens, right? Not only are you paying more for the house to compete, you're also covering the difference between the appraisal. It just, ugh,
Yeah.
right? And do a refinance while everybody's out there, pissed off that they waited too long or they waited, but they can't believe it's so busy. Well, everyone else waited too, buddy. They can't believe it.
Mhm.
While they're out there duking it out, pulling grandma's money out of her mattress to come up with the rest of the money they need to buy the house. You can be sitting pretty in your backyard, having a real good time, calling your lender, Amber, saying, I'd like to refinance because I saw that rates just dipped a little bit. That's it.
E
So yeah.
Exactly, beautiful. And from my memory, I've heard a lot of people say, "I just wanna buy when I can get a good deal. I just wanna buy when I can get a good deal."
Now
Well, we
you can
just
get it.
hit good deal. Like, we just hit good deal.
I
So
need to
let's
put
go
like the thing that
negotiate
goes
now.
with the ding, good deal time. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, like we just hit that. And I
Yeah.
think this hits the thing too, like what we always say, the Warren Buffett quote, be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy. Well, last I saw, it's pretty fearful out there right now. So
Yeah.
like the
Well,
deals are to be had while people are fearing.
yeah, absolutely. So to wrap it up, and I do want to jump into the comments. Couple things. Number one, have you guys noticed my new QR code on the screen? How you
Oh,
like me
it's
now?
so
So
cute.
instead of telling you to text my number, I would love for you to just book a call with me. This goes straight to my calendar. If you want to learn more, I do not care if you're moving now or 10 years from now. That's my slogan. I say it all the time because I mean it. I will take a call. I will give you my attention. I will give you advice. If it's time to talk to Amber, I will pass you to Amber in a loving bassinet with roses around you and all kinds of binkies and toys, right? I don't know why I'm making you guys babies, but whatever. But if it's not, it's okay. Amber and I have successfully worked with people for, I mean, think one person we were working with was almost 7 years, 6 years, something of that nature, from beginning of getting ready to buy, not sure what to do, to prep,
Mhm.
and now owning homes of their own. Their
Mhm.
keys, they own the home.
It
So
is fun to do that
it's
too.
the most beautiful
We
thing
enjoy it.
to do, and I love it. So please
Mhm.
scan the QR code. Let me know if it's working. I tested it, but just in case. And please book a time with me. I just love meeting new people. I need friends. Let's do it. Let's go. So there's that. Amber, anything else before we wrap it up, and then I can jump over to the comments?
I love it when you hit me with those questions. Other than we love you guys, we love talking to you. We love helping you work out the game plan and then seeing
Yeah,
you through to the end. It is rewarding to do
it's
that. That's why
yeah,
we
it's
do
yes.
this.
My lead calls
Mhm.
and meeting people in person is my number one, number two favorite thing. But really seeing people take action from when our discussions is beautiful. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna cry. Anyway, okay, we're just gonna move forward. All right, let's get over to the comments. Neil Warren. Hey ladies, good evening. Neil and I are gonna be meeting up this next week. Amber, do you want to be there?
Oh, I need to come. Yeah, tell me when you guys go.
All right, I'll let you know. He said we both look great. Oh, thank you. We love you.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Bam Bam Rebel says happy Thursday, Lacey and Amber. Happy Thursday to you. Vivian
Hey.
C. Hey, Vivian. Shane says, hey, ladies, do you know of any grants available for couples with a combined income over 200,000? I know it might be a long shot, maybe over or out under. It might be a long shot, but I'd love to take advantage of any opportunities out there. Oh, yeah. Are grants only for people who have lower income? Let's talk about that, Amber.
There's a lot of different grants out there. Actually, my favorite one that I use more and more because there's not as tight of a box to put people in. There's no income limits to that one. And
Oh,
that when you take the grant and it's forgivable after 3 years. So that's why it's my favorite because you take the money and then it's forgiven after 3 years. So then you could do whatever you want with the house at that point. But there's no income limits to it. The
Shane.
only thing is you just have to, it's an FHA loan. So you have limits on the price of the house that you're buying, but not like you can do the grant.
Shane H, better scan that QR code, my
Yeah.
friend. Let's set up a call. If I don't see your name on my calendar soon, I'm going to be really upset. So I'm already upset now because it hasn't been there. Rob says, okay, I think it's Rob Tourangu. I don't know how to say it, but I know that you and your wife met with me a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas. They are the coolest people, Amber. I'm so excited.
Oh,
They're going to be moving here. We're talking to them now. Love you guys. Thank you for a great meetup. And I will learn how to say your name at some point soon. Oscar Love says, hey, ladies, I'm here to talk the R word, recession. You're hearing talk about the R word, recession. Have you heard about the recession?
yeah. But so here's what here, I don't mean to like sound like I'm excited about recessions because I'm not, right? But like here's what people think about 2008 with recession. Let's be real. That was like almost a depression. Okay. Like that was because of lending laws and stuff like that. But if you look at the history of recessions, housing does well because the feds they start lowering rates, putting money into mortgage-backed securities. So the rates go down and they re-stimulate the economy through housing. So housing usually does very well during recessions, just so everybody's clear.
Yeah.
Because
Again, we always find the positive lining. So Oscar,
Mhm.
we are not economists, so we cannot comment other than that. Okay.
Mhm.
Neil Warren said rates higher for longer. Yay. Neil said he's going to be waiting for unemployment to get a little higher and
Mhm.
no crash, but maybe a correction of 12 to 15%. Neil is one of our smartest and most active viewers. We love
Mhm.
you, Neil. Thank you for always being here. Let's see. He also said 52% of the homes on the market have had at least one price decrease. Yep, you stole that right out of me. I was going to actually give that stat and I forgot. Thank you. All right, let's see. Steve Furry,
Neil's
Haley.
always doing his research, isn't
I
he?
know I'm coming up with Neil.
You're
I'm so
amazing, Neil. Thank you.
oh, my boo-boo Lacey. Hey, Sin City Syndicate. Good to see you. One of the keys to wealth is you never sell real estate. I say this to people all the time. When people call me and say, we have to sell our house in Vermont before we can move here, I'm always like, but do you? Do you have to sell it? I mean, I would love for another realtor to make money on selling your home, or even people here. Do we really have to sell it? I will lose money by telling you that. most of the time, but I want you guys to learn the game, baby. Learn that game the system. So
I
you're
know. You
absolutely
know,
right.
I actually had to go meet like a teacher and teach their like kids at a school about housing, right? So like as
Aw.
I was doing that, I was telling him like if I went back, so I bought my first house at 19, right? And if I went back to my 19-year-old self, if I can only teach her to like not sell the houses, hold on to them to rent, because now you look at it, I'm not even going to say how many years later, and you're just like, dang, I wish I didn't sell those houses. I would have been in such a, different place in life. So yeah, try to hold on if you can and rent them out.
Oh, I love that. You have to tell
Mhm.
me about that experience. I want to go next time. That sounds fun.
It was fun. It was fun. Yeah.
NBA Farmer, hey Cody says, love your live stream, ladies. Thank you, Cody. Really appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Samuel Michelle S says, I agree with you too. The days of getting things cheap like it was are over. Yeah, guys, like
Mhm.
that sugar. You came up with this when we were during the pandemic. We all got on a sugar high. I've got a few cavities still from the low rates of the candy, sweet candy, low rates of the
Mhm.
pandemic. So when a five creeps in front of that number, we are going to see things go really crazy, actually.
Well, and the other thing is everybody wants to remember like the good times, like the 2% rates. There was some pretty big crap that we had to go through to get to those 2% rates.
Yeah.
So like that we're like if we hit fives, it's like the new three. Okay. Like
Yep.
if we hit fives, it's a good time right now,
Yep.
but don't be expecting threes again.
Steve says, love how you guys tell it like it is. Thank you, Steve. We've
Thank
got,
you.
oh, look at Sin City Syndicate Amber turning back the clock like she's 30 years old, looking 30. You do look beautiful. You do look beautiful. Samuel says, I'm guessing that Summerlin has become the most expensive area if the rest of Vegas's prices are going up as well. Yeah, actually, Samuel, you are correct. So we do look by zip code and by area in the city. Summerlin is one of the most well-marketed. I'm a marketing executive from my past life in the corporate world. One of the most well-marketed communities in my opinion, in the world. I have never seen every single phone call, and I'm not saying most calls, every single phone call I have with you guys, Summerlin versus Henderson. That's the every single one.
Mhm.
Why do you think I make videos about it? And I'm constantly on the soapbox like, yeah, Summerlin's amazing. It's a very curated experience. It's gorgeous, but it ain't everything. Okay. There's more out there. But yes, Summerlin,
Mhm.
because of the luxury homes that are being built out there, and also the movie studio and all of the development, prices have definitely increased out there. Faux shizzle.
Mhm.
Matt says, I'm always wondering what waiting for a deal looks like to others. Yeah, me too. What's a deal to you? Like, what does that really mean? Because at the end of the day, like if you're waiting for it to be $60,000 less, likely not going to happen. And
Mhm.
what I was saying earlier, guys, is that the rate is really where you can really play with the payment and what it's going to cost you out of pocket, more so than the cost of the home. Like in this kind of a market, get in and then play with that rate and save the money later when you can refinance instead of, because $10,000. I remember back in the day, I don't know if it's now or not, Amber, but back in the day, if you got somebody $10,000 off the top of the price of the home, it only adjusted their payment like 15 or 20 bucks. It was like that didn't save you much. But if you were to get 10,000 back at closing, that's $10,000 in your hand. Or if you were to have them cover your closing costs, that's, you know what I mean? There's other ways to go
Mhm.
about it. So anywho, okay, Bam
No,
Bam
you're right.
example, if I'm shopping for a Summerlin property, is there an easy way to check comparable sales within a zip code to try to gauge if the price per square foot is fair? Yes, Bam Bam Rebel. We do this for every offer we write for you guys. When we're writing, when you find a house that you love, we look at all the comps in the area. We always do this on your behalf. Absolutely. And it's not just within a zip code. We actually look within a 1 mile radius. We look at apples to apples, like to like comparison. So if the house has a pool, what we look at has to have a pool also. If it's 4 bedroom, we try to stay within that range. We stay within a 2 to 400 square foot range up and down of the sizing, because it's got to be apples to apples. So we do a very deep dive on that. We will never let you write an offer on a property that we don't believe is the right thing. And also, if it's overpriced, we have no problem calling that agent saying, where did you come up with this number? You want to provide us
Mhm.
the comps? Like, what is the reasoning for this? Sometimes it'll be somebody will say, well, the less experienced agents will say, oh, I just want, my seller told me that's what they wanted to list it at. Great. Some of them will say, well, the seller doesn't really want to sell. They're just seeing how many offers they can get, which is a huge disappointment and a waste of everyone's time. And then some of them just aren't educated on how to run comps, and they're not using apples to apples comparison. So yeah, so we're really, really very dedicated to making sure of that. And we are very successful in making sure that we can negotiate a killer deal, especially in a time like today with Amber's help.
Mhm.
All right, more questions and we're going to run off here. I'm an Aussie looking to buy a holiday apartment in Vegas at some stage. We'll definitely look you up when I'm there next.
Wow.
Thanks, Lyndon. I would love that. Scan the code. I'm trying to figure out how do I point there. Scan the code. Let's see. Vivian says, I wish I was your friend at 19, Amber, to tell me to buy a damn house at 19 too. Get it, girl. You are right. You are right. Bet on Mason says, love your hair, Laci. Can't stay long. Just wanted to show a little love. Thank you, Mason. We love you. You're always
it's a very good hair day, Laci. Like you're just looking fabulous.
My daughter told me has not seen my hair. She lives in New York and we did a FaceTime and she's like, Mom, the hair. And I said, what? I'm growing it out. What? She's like, it's very Karen. I said, my hair before was Karen. All right. I keep it in the back pocket so I can whip her out if I need to talk to a manager anytime I want.
It's very Karen.
Neil says, I'm willing to bet you that 2 and 3% in rates will not come back in the next 15 years. I would take that. I would take that on your side of that.
Honestly, I don't like the aftermath of the 2 and 3% rates. Right. So I would much rather, like, if we had to live the Amber world, I'd much rather live like somewhere in between where we're at right now. But I don't want to see rates like that again because we have to live the aftermath at some point.
I'll tell you what, I was a haggard mess. I didn't take a day off for like 3 years. It felt like because of those rates. Crazy. Yeah. Okay. We have 3 more questions or comments, and then we're going to let you guys go. First of all, before you go, do not forget to go ahead and scan that. Set up a call with me. Let's talk. If you join our live streams on a frequent basis, you need to be talking to me. Like, what is going on? Why don't we know each other? It would be cool because then if you come in town to visit, we could like actually meet up. So do it. Scan the thing. And also we're just here to help you put a game plan together. I'm gonna sneeze. Ooh, my allergies are kicked in because of the rain. Let's see. Sue J says, own a home in 89. She owns a home in 89149. Great zip code. Renting it out a year at a time. Awesome. Wondering if this is the year to sell. I would say hang on to that. We don't think you should sell it ever. Let me just be real. And I'm taking money out of my pocket to do that. If you were to work with me, I think you should hang on to it, but I would love, Sue, if you could do me a favor, scan that QR code. Let's talk. I want to look more deeply at the home and see what it is and what is on the market to be your competition. I wouldn't list your house right now as we're seeing more inventory going up. So I would wait until we see that kind of flatten out a little bit. That would be my guidance. What are your thoughts, Amber? I'm going to blow my nose while you do this. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze.
I mean, I think it's, circumstantial, right? So like, it depends on what your circumstances are. What's your reason for selling? Are you taking that money and you're doing something else with it? Like everybody's circumstances are different. If it's at all possible, hold on. Yeah, it's great to hold on, but like, is that holding you back for something? So it depends on what your circumstances are. Yeah. I think it's a good time to have a call,
Absolutely.
To be able to, figure out what works best for you.
Yeah, let's talk, Sue. I'd love to chat with you. Let's just tell me you met me on the live. Okay, let's see. A couple more. Bet on Mason. Ooh, I also finally have my moving to Las Vegas time frame, so now I can get in contact soon. Yes, let's do this, Mason. Yay. Come on, man. All right. Could also Vegas getting very sport like hockey, baseball, football, and how developed the strip is getting. That's also resulting in costs going up because more demand in places from the outside states. Yes. Yeah. The development in Vegas. I think we talk about this a lot, Amber, has had a huge impact. The economic development or the industrial, like industries coming to Vegas and different entertainment options for sure.
I think Vegas has done. I mean, nobody really wants to compliment their officials and stuff like that. But just to give them a compliment, I think they've done a beautiful job bringing industry into our city. So it's more than gambling. There's plenty of jobs here on all kinds of different levels. So yeah,
absolutely.
And the sports make it even better. Just adds to the entertainment.
Nice job, Samuel. Michelle, you're looking at it the right way for sure. You're noticing all the factors for sure. Steve Furry says our house goes on the market tomorrow. See you guys soon. Woo! Looking forward to it. Dickie's Beard Review says, cheers, Laci McCarty, Las Vegas gal. Cheers to you, my love. Cheers. All right, 2 more and then we're done, my friend. If Mark says if I kept my first house, that thing would be spinning off some serious cash.
I know.
Yes, it would. And then I'm moving with a friend April next year, so I don't have to rent. Then I have to figure out if I'm going to sell my home in LA. It's completely paid off. Mason, look at you. Listen, I would not be selling that house. I can't wait to talk to you, Mason. I'm stoked. Okay, last one of the night. Dickie's Beers Review says, I'm renting now, but I'll be looking to buy in about 8 months. Renting sucks in Vegas. Providence and Sky Canyon are booming. Dude, Dickie, Dickie's
Renting
beer.
does suck.
Please scan that code. Let's talk now, because even if you're looking within 8 months, that's actually a time frame that we like to keep you really close to us to be sure to jump when the time is right. We like to just set things up and get them dialed in. Please scan the code. Let's talk. If you are watching this and you're also renting, I don't care if you just re-signed your lease. Please call me. We can do a lot of math equations that help you determine the cost benefit of maybe cutting your lease short and what that cost would be to get in and get these juicy, crunchy deals, my friends.
Yes, get in where the deals are good. And keep in mind too, when you buy, so like you buy a house, you close in 30, 45 days, right? So like if you buy now, you're closing in June, your first payment's not due until August 1st.
Right.
So like if you're 8 months away, you're getting real close to that number right there to start looking.
Time to talk, Dickie's Beer Reviews. Okay, there's more coming in. I'm going to give a few more some love here. Mr. Right or Wrong, late to the chat. Do you think the market will keep rising as I think? So I would love for you to rewind and watch from the beginning, because we went through a lot of detail today. Short answer, Amber, what do you think?
Do you think that it'll rise as I think? I think once the fear comes down, and it always does, we always get tired of the news cycles the way they are. We're like, forget it, right? People are going to realize that crap, I'm renting and I'm paying all this, and everybody's going to come off at the same time. That's what I think.
Right.
So yeah, I think that we're in the market we've been in for the last couple of years.
Right.
And even though they're feeling fear right now, that's soon going to simmer out and everybody's going to come out looking.
Yeah,
so,
we're seeing it happen. We're equalizing, we're getting stable, which I think is so healthy for us to be able to kick off whatever's coming next. Oh, thank you for your response. You're welcome, Mr. Right or Wrong. Thank you. Please rewind and watch, though. We gave some good info. All right, last one, I promise, of the night. Bam Bam Rubble. Well, not that one. Hi, Matt. Good night. Thank you, too.
Yeah.
With Summerlin properties in particular, I'll check the history of what the property sold for. Example, bought by an investor in 2022 for $800K, and then they relisted it after renovating it nicely for $2.2 million. Is that a red flag? No, that's just someone making a smart investment is what that is. Bam Bam Rubble, are you a realtor? Would you like to talk to me? Because I feel like you're working with someone else and you're asking me questions instead of your realtor. What are you doing here? You working with someone? Let's talk. Seriously, I'd love to answer your questions individually. And I also definitely want to just say that's just someone who made a nice investment. 2022 to 2025 has been a huge increase, especially Summerlin, especially luxury properties, especially if it was $800K in 2022, 2.2. That means it was likely in 2022, the size of the home was likely just under 3,000 square feet, or right at 3,000, maybe above, right above, like in the 3,000 square foot range. It's probably a single story, maybe, and it might have a pool. At 800K in 2022, that's what that looked like. It now looks like 2-point-something million. Yeah.
That's somebody seeing the market right there. Look at that. They could have bought it on a fire sale too. You never know the reason.
You never know. Yeah, you never know. That's true. But yeah, the renovation market and the luxury market right now out in the luxury homes is happening really loudly. Like I'm seeing a lot of people do that. So anyway, love you guys. Love you, Amber. I know I did a lot more talking than you. Bad, but I was on one today. So thank you for
I love it. I love it.
Love you guys. We will see you next Thursday. And then I think I'm going to be doing a live stream Saturday to talk a little bit about the NAR settlement, the National Association of Realtors settlement, kind of 6, 7, 8 months later. What happened? What did they say was going to happen and what really happened? So you can know what that really means walking in the door when it comes time for working with a realtor, me, to buy a home. A lot of people got really confused last year when the buyer brokerage fees are no longer paid by sellers and all this headlines galore. So I'm going to debunk a lot of that for you and give you some truths and give you an update and make you feel good about it this Saturday. So stay tuned. I'll be putting that up for you by tomorrow. And otherwise, we'll see you next week, guys. Bye.